Hello everyone, my name is Divya Rani Prasad and I'm up with another video, much awaited video. I'm really sorry it took me so long for this video because I joined the new college, as you all know, and it is still taking me time to settle down. Yeah, but I will try to be consistent from now on. I'm really sorry. I had discussed a lot of writers in the previous one, and today we are going to discuss university wits and Ben Jonson. Okay, so university wits, there's John Lilly, George Peele, Robert Greene, Thomas Nash, Thomas Lodge, Thomas Kidd, and Christopher Marlowe. Okay, so first we will be discussing Christopher Marlowe. He is known for his use of blank verse and his overreaching protagonists. Okay, they are very much ambitious, they are very much greedy. Okay, and yeah, so his first work was Dido, Queen of Carthage. She falls in love with Aeneas, but Aeneas betrays her and she commits suicide when he leaves for Italy. Okay. I am just giving brief summaries, okay, because it is quite difficult to cover in details. The video will be so long, so I will suggest you to go to Wikipedia and go through the summaries. Okay, I am only going to discuss the important ones. Dido is a minor work, I guess. Okay, but then Tamburlaine is a very important major work by Christopher Marlowe. So it is the story about a Scythian shepherd, okay, Timur, okay, and he becomes very powerful, okay, world conquering emperor, and he is filled with boundless ambition. Okay, he was a shepherd, but he becomes an emperor. How, we will get to know. So this Persian king, Mycetes, he is quite foolish, okay, and he dislikes Tamerlane, and Tamerlane and Khosrow, the Mycetes brother, okay, they too, what do? They like plot against Mycetes and overthrow him. Okay, but then Tamerlane also betrays Khosrow and claims the Persian throne. Now he has Persian throne. Okay, and then he's still ambitious. He wants more, he wants to conquer the world. So now he targets the Egyptian sultan. Okay, and he captures his daughter Xenocrate and he woos her. They fall in love and he marries her also. And then this emperor of Turks named Bajazet, okay, he defeats him, and he like brutally tortures him. Okay, he keeps him in the cage and uses him as the human footstool. Okay, this emperor was quite proud of himself, but now Tamerlane has broken him. That later on Bajazet and his wife Zabina, they commit suicide. Okay, and then Tamerlane has two parts. Okay, the second part, the Tamerlane the Great, it tells a story about his sons. He has three sons and he crowns them all. Okay, but when he gets to know that his son Calipus, he is a little coward and he seeks comfort more than war, he gets disappointed of him and he kills him. Okay, and later on Tamerlane also gets sick and dies. This is the story, but you should go through it in much detail. Okay, I'm just telling the brief story. Okay, and then there's Dr. Faustus. Okay, Dr. Faustus has the knowledge of the world. He has learned a lot of things, philosophy, medicine, law, and whatnot, but he is not what do I say, he's not satisfied with all this, and he also wants to learn something beyond the realm of nature. Okay, so he has his friends, okay, teach him magic, and through magic he conjures Mephistopheles, he is like the slave of Lucifer, the Saturn. Okay, so now they have a deal. Okay, Faustus gives him, there's a contract that Faustus signs with his own blood. Okay, saying there's 24 years of trade. Okay, he is trading his soul in return for a lot of truth about the world, about magic and everything. So for 24 years he enjoys a lot, but there's no sign of guilt or anything in him. Yeah, he conjures Helen of Troy, and he also conjures Alexander, the spirit of Alexander the Great, and all. He does a lot of things. You should go through details, okay. And there are also some important dialogues as well, like this is the face, which I don't remember it, sorry, I don't have it right now, so you should go through it, okay. Important dialogues, characters, and the summary in detail for Dr. Faustus and Tamburlaine, okay. When 24 years get finished, when the clock strikes midnight, the devil comes and takes him away. Now Dr. Faustus, he tries to beg for mercy, but they do not listen. And later on in the next morning, his colleagues, they find his body torn into parts, okay. His hands were torn and everything, and then they go for the burial, okay. So in Tamerlane, he has this greed for power, ambition, highly ambitious. And Dr. Faustus, he has this greed for knowledge, and he was not satisfied. Now coming to the Jew of Malta, the Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice is based on this story, okay. So Jew of Malta, it is the story of a Machiavellian character. Machiavellian character, he is very villainous, okay. And his name is Barabbas, okay. Barabbas is too much greedy. He loves money, and he loves money more than anything, okay. So it is a story about his vengeance against the Christian governor. Barabbas is a Jewish, okay. And the governor, what do they do is, you see, the Christian governor of Malta, after his fall, he tries to take vengeance against the Christian governor of Malta. His name is Furnies. Okay, why? Because he had seized his property, his money and everything, to pay tribute to Ottoman Empire. Okay, the Turks. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm again repeating okay. This is how I speak because whatever, I'm sharing knowledge, you take it, okay. So Governor Furnies, he seizes wealth of Jewish population to pay tribute, okay. And Barabbas is also Jewish, and he does not want to do it. And when he tries to protest, his all his possession is stolen, and his home is turned into a convent, okay. Then he tries to use his daughter Abigail to retrieve the hidden stash of gold in his house. Okay, now that it has turned into a convent, she pretends to convert to Christianity. But later on, Abigail actually converts to Christianity. They were Jewish, but now she has actually turned into a Christian because of the treacherous nature of her father. And this furiates him, and what he does is he plots and he poisons his own daughter. And he poisons her. And then what he does is he and his slave Ithamor, they try to form an alliance with the Turkish army to take over Malta. And what he gets in result? He is rewarded. He becomes the new governor of Malta, and Furnies gets imprisoned. Okay, but then later on he tries to cut the deal, and for that he tries to befriend Furnies. Okay, but now Furnies betrays Barabbas. And what happens is he falls into boiling cauldron of oil that he had intended for Turkish leader. For a Turkish leader, he wanted him to fall into that boiling cauldron of oil, but instead he himself falls into it. Okay, so this was his tragic end. Okay, and then this Edward II. This was another play where there's a homosexual relationship between Edward II, King, and Piers Gaveston. Okay, Edward II, when he comes to throne, when he claims the throne, he calls for his friend Piers Gaveston, whom he loves so much. And what happens is he pays so much attention to Gaveston, and he's not ruling well, and he's not giving attention to his queen Isabella. Okay. Yeah, so Isabella and Mortimer is someone from the court, and what happens is Isabella and Mortimer, they too fall in love, and they also try to raise a rebellion against Edward II. And what happened is Mortimer leads, and civil war takes place, and they also execute Gaveston. Okay, and after civil war, Edward is imprisoned for not ruling well, and Mortimer secretly hires an assassin named Lightborn, and he murders Edward II. Okay, this was Edward II for you. So these were all the important works by Christopher Marlowe. And coming to the other university wits, like Robert Greene. Robert Greene is popular for his work Friar Bacon and Friar Bungie. The work is quite lengthy, so you should go through it, like on Wikipedia and YouTube. There are animated videos as well. Okay, and Robert Greene is much more popular because of his work Groat's Worth of Wit. Okay, here he has called Shakespeare an upstart crook. Why? Because he accuses Shakespeare of plagiarism, that Shakespeare was copying their works. Okay, because Merchant of Venice is so much similar to Geo of Malta, and Hamlet is quite similar to the Spanish tragedy by Thomas Kyd. Okay, and so he has called Shakespeare an upstart crook in Groat's Worth of Wit. Okay, and yeah, and then there's Thomas Nash. Thomas Nash has written Piers Penniless, The Unfortunate Traveller, which is a picaresque novel. The protagonist is Jack Wilton. And there's Isle of Dogs. Isle of Dogs, it has targeted the Privy Council of the Queen. The name of the place was Placentia, where the council was taking place, but it was known that this is the same place where the queen also kept her dogs. Okay, so indirectly he has tried to call the council her pets. Okay, so for this they were also punished. Okay, yeah. And then there's John Lilly. John Lilly has coined the term euphemism. I'm sorry, I didn't pronounce it well. Euphemism. Okay, Euphues, the anatomy of wit that he has produced. Okay, he has coined the term euphemism. Okay. Euphemism means graceful and witty in Greek. Okay, and his works are like Campaspe. This is a love triangle between Campaspe. She is a Theban captive by Alexander the Great, and a painter and an artist. His name is Apelles. Okay, Apelles. So when Apelles is drawing a portrait of Campaspe, they two fall in love, and Apelles tries to take much more time and to complete it so that he can spend more time with her. Okay, and when Alexander the Great gets to know about it, he withdraws his interest from Campaspe and lets them be. Okay, and then there's Sappho and Phao. It is a story about Sappho. She is a queen. Okay, Syracuse. This is a place where she rules, and Venus, the goddess Venus. Okay, she tries to humble her, and she sends Phao to her court. Okay, and when Sappho and Phao see each other, they instantly fall in love. Okay, but then the Cupid, Venus's son, what does he do? What he does is he throws some arrow, and by accident Venus too falls in love with Phao, and then Cupid reverses the spell, and also cures Sappho of her love for Phao, but he himself, Cupid himself, falls for Sappho. Okay, so eventually Pao leaves Sicily, and Cupid adopts Sappho as his new mother. Okay, now Venus does not want it to happen, but Cupid does it. Okay, and then there's Endymion. Endymion is one of the most important work, where Endymion is sent to endless slumber by Tellus. Tellus is the girl who loved him so much, but Endymion is so much in love with Queen Cynthia, okay, the moon goddess. And yeah, this is all. And then there's Midas loves Metamorphosis, the women in the moon. These are important works. You should go through it. These are not as important, I would say, but yeah. Endymion is very much important. And then Euphues, the anatomy of wit, Euphues and his England, that you should go through. And then there's Thomas Lodge. He has written Rosalind. Okay, then this Rosalind, this is the name which inspired Shakespeare to take a character as Rosalind in his play As You Like It. Okay, and then there's George Peele, who has collaborated with William Shakespeare on the play Edward Titus Andronicus. Then he has also written Edward I and Old Wives' Tale. And then there's Spanish Tragedy. So Spanish Tragedy is a very, very long play. Okay, and this is about even Ben Jonson played the role of Hieronimo in this play. This is a revenge play. Okay, so I have not written the summary, and it is quite long, so I could not get a shorter one. So you should go through it. You should watch a video and go through Wikipedia for the summary. Okay, this is very, very important. Spanish Tragedy you should not ignore. These are like there are 6 university wits. Some were from Cambridge and some were from Oxford, but Thomas Kidd never went to a university, but his way of writing, the style he wrote in, was quite similar to them, which is why Thomas Kidd is also known as a university wit. Okay, yeah, so this is all about university wit. Now coming to Ben Jonson, and once we finish Ben Jonson, I guess we will come to some other writer. I will see, okay, if Shakespeare or anything. So Ben Jonson, he created Comedy of Humors. Comedy of Humors is he's saying that every person has like 4 types of there are 4 types of humors, and the concentration of a particular humor makes the person influences a person to be of a specific kind. Like if this scholar, okay, choleric in nature, then that's that person may be irritable. If there's bile, which means melancholy, then the person might be pessimistic. If there's phlegmatic, then the person may be slow and sluggish. If if there's blood, which means sanguine, then the person is lively and optimistic. Okay, so yeah, this is about humor, and he has written one work which is like primarily based on it, that is Every Man in His Humor. Okay, so first, Ben Jonson was not a simple writer. He he's also popular for the War of the Theatres. Okay, it is called Poetomachia or Poets' War. So it was between Marston and John Marston and Ben Jonson. Okay, so first what happens is that Marston, he satirizes Johnson's pride through the character Chrysogonus in his work Histriomastix, okay, in 1599. So now Ben Jonson had to respond, so he writes Every Man out of his humor. In here he satirizes Marston. Then there's Jack Drum's Entertainment, which was written by Marston. Then Cynthia's Revel by Jonson. In Cynthia's Revel, Jonson satirizes both Marston and Thomas Dekker. Okay, and then John Marston writes What You Will, in which Ben Jonson is again satirized. And then there's the Poetaster. Okay, which is written by Ben Jonson in 1601, in which he is saying Marston vomiting bad Poetaster, the meaning of the term poetaster is a bad poet, okay, in which Marston is shown as vomiting bombastic and ridiculous words he has ingested, okay. Then Satyromastics, which was also written in 1601. So Thomas Dekker has written it in response to the poetaster, okay. So this was it. Yeah, and then there's Eastward Ho in 1605, in which is written by Johnson, Marston, and Chapman. You can say that Johnson and Marston were having conflict earlier, but now to resolve this conflict, this Eastward Ho has been written. It was also response to Westward Ho by Thomas Dekker and John Webster, okay, in which he has satirized Scottish countrymen of the new king James I. Of Jacobean period, okay. He was from Scotland, okay. So in Eastward Ho, the Scottish countrymen were satirized, okay. That is why they got arrested, okay. It is a city comedy, satirizes London's social custom, okay. James the Sixth was of Scotland, was first of England, okay. James the One of England, okay. And it was after the union of Scottish and English crowns in 24th of March 1603. Jacobean period starts from 1603, okay. So yeah, this is all he has written. And yeah, Everyman in his humor, Cynthia's Reveille, The Poetaster, Volpone, The Fox, and The Alchemist, The Silent Woman, okay, Epicene. These are few works written by him, and these are very lengthy, so again I am not going to share the summary at all, but I must say, again, you go through Wikipedia. The most important works are Everyman in his humor. Then there's one more work, let me check. But do you want me to tell the summary of Spanish tragedy a little? I know this video seems a little clumsy. It will take me time to become completely professional, right? Yeah. So I'm still going to share Spanish tragedy. I will do it in the first. Let's finish the name I was going to say. Yeah, Bartholomew Fair. Okay, Ben Jonson has written Bartholomew Fair. The Alchemist is very important. Okay, Volpone is very important. The Fox. Okay, and what else? Epicene, The Silent Woman, Everyman in his humor. It all you should go through. Okay, this is all. So we have covered university wits and Ben Jonson. Please go through the summaries, the characters. There are animated videos on YouTube. You should watch and watch and watch, rewatch, because revision only makes it like it helps you. Otherwise you will forget, because I also forget all the time. Nobody can remember all these summaries, all these names, right? So go through that. My brief summary won't work, won't help much, okay. You have to go into detail. All right. Yeah, so yeah, but now coming to the Spanish tragedy, let me share the brief summary of this one. So this play begins with a ghost named Don Andrea. He was a Spanish courtier, okay. He was killed in the Battle of Portugal. He is accompanied by a character called Revenge, okay. It is a spirit guide sent back to earth. Together they sit and witness how Revenge's former lover, okay, Revenge's former lover, Bill Imperia, avenges his death by killing Balthazar. Okay, so Balthazar, who is in love with Bill Imperia, despises the fact that Horatio is the one who loves her. Okay, so Balthazar loves Bill Imperia, but Bill Imperia and Horatio are lovers. Okay, and this what happens is Balthazar, he joins Lorenzo, who and both of them, Balthazar and Lorenzo, they plan to kill poor Horatio. So when Horatio is killed, Bill Imperia is the one who watches the murder. Okay, she loved Horatio and she has watched the murder of her lover, and she informs Hieronimo. Hieronymo is the father, okay, by sending him a letter stating that it was Balthazar and Lorenzo who has killed his son. Okay, Hieronymo was devastated and decides to avenge the death of his son. So here the character Hieronymo, it was also played by Ben Jonson. See, the work is by Thomas Kidd, but Hieronymo's character was played by Ben Jonson. So now Hieronymo decides to avenge the death of his son. Hieronymo instantly tries to prove the authenticity of the letter, and that Lorenzo and Balthazar are in fact killers of his son. Eventually, he succeeds and comes up with an ingenious plan to murder his son's killer. He decides to stage a play. Okay, play within the play, just like in Hamlet. He has also staged a play before the viceroy, where he would enact the exact events what had exactly happened in where when Horatio was killed. That is played in this play. Okay, play within the play. And he also invites killers Lorenzo and Balthazar to watch the play along with the king and the duke. In final climax scene, the characters of Hieronymo and Belamperia actually stab and kill Lorenzo and Balthazar for the death of Horatio. Later on, Belamperia also commits suicide. The king, viceroy and duke, much of their horror, ask Hieronymo of his motives. Hieronymo, as a final act of revenge, bites his own tongue and stabs the duke to death and takes his own life. Okay, so see, Spanish tragedy. The tragedy is something where at the end most of the characters end up dead. Okay, they don't survive. It is always about revenge and everything. So this is all. I hope it helps you, and I will soon come up with another video. I'm promising you, and I will keep my promise this time. And thank you for watching the video. Please let me know what more improvement I need to do, because yeah, I know I'm making a lot of mistakes because this is quite a little impromptu, and I don't get enough time to like prepare everything. So and this is the result of this short preparation, and I hope it helps you. Whatever I have discussed, please go through the summaries and try to revise as much as you can, and I will soon be up with another video. Thank you so much. Bye.